All right, let's start. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for participating in the interview regarding workplace well-being. As you might already have heard of, engage with workplace activities that conducted by companies to promote and enhance wellness of their employees. This interview is carried out to understand further the requirements and feedbacks from you as an individual user to help create better workplace well-being projects. So, in your previous working experience, could you please record like how frequent workplace activities you have participated, and can you recall some of those you consider as employee well-being programs?
Um, Basically, working for Economic Development Directorate, there was numerous, what did you call them? Programs,
Projects or programs?
projects or programs that I actually coordinated. Mixture of education ones and health and wellbeing ones. But specific health and wellbeing ones would have been annual flu vaccinations that were done organisation wide. We also sort of had we encouraged bicycles and biking to work, and we had a bike cage that was actually set up to so that people could lock their cage up securely while they were working during the day. To enable that. We did also encourage the walking. Um, Again, it was another annual program that we signed up with where it was like to get that 10,000 steps for the period of the week, and the walk to work option, but that really wasn't practical given the location of our workplace.
The 10,000 steps, did the company also provide the counting, like the
Yeah,
gadgets?
they did. Yeah, they did
Cool.
provide it.
Sounds cool.
Were there any other? Oh, we got some funding, but it wasn't annualised. It was just 1 year for health assessment testing. And so everybody in the organisation got health assessment testing in the basics to sort of, I guess, pick up if there were any risk factors for them in particular areas.
Physical health check.
Yeah. So they actually took a blood sample and did like a full blood work. And then they came and did sort of a whole range of physiological tests, from lung function to eyes to sit and reach and flexibility.
Cool. And so, as an employee, how do you find the facilitation of those activities of that organization? Um, do you find it successful or not enough, or describe it with your words, maybe?
I think there was a very good turnout for the flu vaccinations. And like I said, everybody participated in the free health assessments because I think everyone was just interested in finding out for themselves because the information wasn't published. Only the participant got the results of the test. And so that one was completely, I guess, driven by the people, which shows that there's an interest in their health and finding out about them. That said, my own manager was obese.
How it's from the health check, that program, or from the
No, she was obese before the health check.
oh, so this is the result from the health check, not the vaccinate,
Yeah, not from the flu vaccination.
not from the flu.
No. Yeah, the health assessment. Sorry. But
And regarding the participation, do you know like how many people participated? What's the percentage of the involvement?
I'd say it would have been about high 80s.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. It was very busy times getting it all coordinated. But yeah, it was good.
And what do you think of office well-being programs that designed for individual participants, comparing with those designed for shared experience and teamwork and group participate?
It was interesting. The kind of things that they would have done as groups were, we actually had a lot of like charity morning teas. So we were often organising charity morning teas, whether it was the biggest morning tea one or some the Pink Ribbon Day, or
Mm.
there was always these different charities that were having particular weeks, and we would organise morning teas, and I guess they varied in terms of their success, whereas some of them were really good and other ones were like the ones that the morning tea were initially they went really well, but then people started to get sort of like charity fatigue.
Mm.
Because you were week after week, you were opening your wallet for something. Not only were you buying cakes or making cakes and bringing stuff, but you were also putting in money for charity. So that one got a bit tired. And then there was the afternoon work drinks that maybe happened about once a month, and that was actually alcohol was allowed, and that was quite funny.
And HR perspective, did you find the participation of the programs shows some difference between those individual based programs and those more social networking and
I think it's definitely there could be the social networking at times can seem forced. Like everybody sort of always graduates into their little work groups, and there's not that much mixing across the different groups. So everyone would go to the morning tea, whatever, and say hello, but not really maybe have a conversation with or get to know. And I think there is an element of sometimes you can be in workplaces where you do find that you've got a lot in common with other people. And I guess it enables friendships a bit more, where there is a bit more diversity, people are initially maybe a little bit more hesitant to sort of cross the boundaries and make the friendships.
And those kind of activities companies carried out during working hours, or it's work during working hours?
Yeah, during working hours. Yeah. Whereas if they're engaged in a program where you do voluntary exercise out of work hours, then that would be something that's their option. But we wouldn't organize. If we do it during work hours, then we're actually covered for work health safety in case there's any injuries. There's sort of, I guess, legislative issues, and then also from if it's in work hours, then we're not having to pay anybody overtime for anything outside of hours.
Right.
So it's safer just to do it during work hours because it avoids all those extra issues. Even the work Christmas party was done during work hours. We'd have like a half day, and you'd literally stop for lunch and then have the Christmas party and not go back to work. And so it would be over before normal work hours, like whatever venue they'd hired would literally finish at 5 o'clock.
And what would you consider as the most important qualities of a successful well-being program? There are HR perspectives and maybe employee perspectives. Have you ever conducted surveys among the employees to get their inputs from what they value most in the general well-beings at workplace?
No, never surveyed them.
As an employee yourself, what would you consider would be most valuable to you? I can name a few, but feel free to.
I kind of think sort of activities where people have to work together as a team, like actual team building ones where people are sort of like playing, where it's sort of, because they actually do have a task to unite them, then it breaks down those barriers. They've got a reason to talk to each other and interact. And then through sharing an experience, it enables them to I guess, get to know each other, that they can then take back to the workplace and really establish it. Whereas like a lot of wellbeing programs often, let's have multicultural day or bring a cake day or blah, blah, blah. They're, they're nice and they do give people, I guess, an opportunity to talk. But, in terms of actually quickly establishing, viable sort of employee well-being thing where you're actually building connections in the workplace, some kind of team building activity.
What do you have in mind? What kind of team?
Definitely not paintball. I reckon some kind of Survivor Island style team challenge where people are doing, jumping from things or hanging from rocks, but they have to work together as a team and put a puzzle together and collect a piece of the puzzle
life in
each.
other people's hands.
Yeah. That would be fun because they're actually, each of them's having to do an element of work and then they're, working together to do the puzzle or something at the end. So, that would be kind of fun.
So I guess what you're saying is enhance workplace engagement and help people to build that connection with their coworkers would be the most valuable well-being activities.
Yeah, because getting people to just stand around in a room and, look at each other and eat some cake is not... It's often not the best way. I say even a more recent employer had yoga and Pilates classes, but maybe only about out of 400 people in the organisation, there was only ever really maybe about 5 to maximum 10 people that showed up to do the class.
What do you think are the reasons that so less people? I guess there will be more people are doing yoga and Pilates at their spare time. But why it's not attractive
When it's offered
when
for
it's
free
off?
at work. Yeah. I think it's the inconvenience of people wanting to change, or maybe have a shower after before they go back to work because there was only 2 showers in the entire building. So that, I think, might have been one reason. But yeah, so I think it's just the inconvenience of having to bring their clothing, and then there's always something that crops up when you're at work that gets in the way.
True. And have you ever withdrawn from a well-being program, if you can recall, or discontinued from a